Hi everyone, it's Chris England again, and this is kind of a follow-up to a movie that I made about the explosiveness of anime. And one of the things that I mentioned at one point is the fact that we'll never get series like Gintama, One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, and this is partially because of the length of these series. So, like, if you're looking at some of the longest, so I'm going by the 24 longest running anime series off of the Cinemaholic, and I know that there's possible more than just this, but you've got options like Haikyuu, you've got options, so like Haikyuu, Beelzebub, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and these are not even close to some of the longest. I wouldn't say that they're necessarily the best examples, but they're more like what we're seeing right now in terms of a lot of the anime that we're getting out at this point. Whereas, like, some of the longest options, you have Inuyasha at 193, you have Naruto 220, the Dragon Ball Z at 291, you have Fairy Tail at 317, Gintama at 367. 500 episodes for Shippuden, and probably one of the biggest currently still going is One Piece at 893. But we also have a list of the other options with Detective Conan with at least 802. We have it's oddly enough very adult Crayon Shinchan with 870. If you want to go really old school, you got Sekai Monoshiri Ryoko at 1,000, over 1,000. Then you got Chibi Maruko-chan, and I've actually watched this one, but this one has another 1,000 more. You have the Monoshiri Daigaku Ashita no Calendar with 1,274. You've got very good big kid ones, Anpanman with at least 1,300. You have then going to like more of a popular one. You have Doraemon with a little bit over 1,750. Oyako, and then with the top two, Nintama Rantaro with at least 1,878 episodes. But the top current one, which started in 69, Sazae-san with over 2,400 episodes. So One Piece definitely has a very long way to catch up to that. But the other thing also comes from the fact that these kind of things are a very, very big coming out for a company, as opposed to, say, like what recently we have, like Danmachi, which is on its 4th season. We got Spy Family, which is on 2nd season. If you go to But, like, I think what it is that in general, what we might actually experience is something more akin to maybe like Brotherhood, the 64 episode, or even the original Brotherhood, which was 51. And one of the reasons why that is, I feel like that's a very futuristic aspect of the series, is because that's what we're now getting. We're now getting more of a focus on shorter series that come out sooner rather than longer series that come out more infrequently. And the reason why I think is because it's just so much of a endeavor for a company to go through a massive amount of episodes. These episodes aren't cheap to make, so they have to be really sure what they're doing. So what I mentioned back then in my original video is that they're just spitballing at the wall, and whatever sticks. Whatever doesn't stick, oh well, it just had like 1 or 2 seasons. That was about it. But like a good example is taking maybe like Tiger Bunny, Kaguya-sama, Spy Family, but in general, it's just more the fact that we're not going to see. The reason I say that we're not going to see anything like One Piece or anything like necessarily like Naruto Shippuden even is a better example. Nothing like Bleach ever again, is because we have no guarantee that a studio is willing to put in that kind of time and effort for that kind of series. Or also, by the same token, a series like maybe even taking Monster, only 74 episodes, and that's after they took, I think it's 16 for the actual like large wide size, and then I think it comes out to 21 or 22 volumes for the base set. But I'd like to hear everyone else's opinions on this. What do you think? Do you think that there's ever going to be a big, long anime like Naruto Shippuden, like Gintama, like Bleach, like One Piece? I can guarantee that we're never going to see anything like Sazae-san. Actually, one thing that I also thought of as I'm saying this is that if you look at some of the longer running animes in general, Sazae-san, they mentioned that it's not the most appealing, but it's a very prominent figure in Japanese television. But the thing is that they mentioned it's kind of like King of the Hill as opposed to the Brady Bunch. But neither one of those stories or TV series have a truly overarching storyline. So for the longest running anime, these are a lot of times story driven. With these are kind of more based on, more like The Simpsons, more like Family Guy, more like King of the Hill, where the story doesn't necessarily need to fit in somewhere. It's just the happenings of what it is. And I can easily say from the same kind of case, Doraemon's the same way. It's exactly like, I'm trying to think of what specifically would be the best bet. And the kind of big thing that comes to my mind is the Magic School Bus. Something happens, they have a problem, they fix the problem. And then also probably going on like the Monoshiri series, these ones oddly enough look like some kind of like actual storytelling, but the stories in and of themselves are set alone. And so with a lot of manga being story driven as opposed to not story driven, we have the case of how long can the story actually last in and of itself? How long can the story focus solely on itself? Whereas these kind of series, the ones that are currently like the longest series in the entire world, the fact that Sazae-san reached a Guinness Book of World Record level, that is in and of itself an impressive thing. But it also says that we're probably not going to get anything like that again. But who do I know? I wouldn't say that I know the most about anime. I wouldn't even say that I know the most out of my friend group in anime. But at the same time, I feel like I know enough to say what I'm saying, because I feel like there's less of more of a focus on story driven as opposed to, or maybe plot driven as opposed to story driven, or plot driven as opposed to life driven. But that's it for me this time around. Thanks for listening. Okay.